yes.
You read the last bit. That side the past before it's too late. I like it very much, but it had no effect whatsoever. Because you were doing it like you're not sure what to do, you weren't practicing. I have to say, Gilbert, that if this audience must know that last time you presented in Afrikaans and not in English, I think you can get a round of applause for that. Speaking English, and you did a good job in speaking English. And then who are these two new faces? Why were you never at anything? Can they perhaps answer for themselves? I haven't heard their voice. Do you have a voice? Okay, use it. Did you just not come to the practices, or are you new to the group?
We are from Unfortunately, our team broke.
Your team didn't make it, so you just added yourself to this team. But are you a new Lego Masters? Okay. So that is a problem, because now you came across as some of the team members haven't been part of the group. They haven't gelled with the group. There was no teamwork. And Kevin, you only started off and then you kept quiet for the rest of the journey. What's going on? I'm sure you said something else again. So we've worked hard on this, and I think, where's Elena? Couldn't you be here? I wrote down your names, Gail, because we had problems when we started. I can still hear that you don't know the information that well, only the one speaker speaking. And I can feel you look as if you're at a funeral, so I don't want that. You must get loosened up, and you'll only loosen up if you practice more, okay? This is not a funeral. You may smile with the audience, you may interact with them, you may draw their attention to yourself and stuff like that. Then the satellites and the app, it came in very late. I didn't even know we were going to put an app, because last time it was a satellite. Now you say when you take an app and put it on the satellite, I think the colleagues here will be able to ask you about that. But you can't present the way you've done today with only one speaker really speaking, and the rest of them just standing there not too sure what is going on and hiding behind the poster. I don't understand why, because you're not even part of the group. Please speak to somebody. This must happen. If there's something going on that it is not the way it should be, then you need to go to somebody on Saturday and say, this is our problem here, so that it can be solved together. Because if you came to me, I would not have put those two guys on the stage. They haven't in any case done anything except stand there behind the poster, because they're not part of your group, and it felt like that all the time. And you'll be marked down for that, right? And then you're still saying what the teacher told you to say. You don't know it. It doesn't come from here. So then you lose your audience completely. So you need a little bit more of that. And please use that last part, and then we can, I don't know if somebody's going to work with you again. Maybe your post itself looks great, but nobody spoke about it, talked about it at all. So I'm sure that can be used to great effect next time. But I'm glad to hear lovely English words and that you are at. You may use cue cards. I just want to remind you of the cue cards to help you. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Guys, my advice to you is to know, Code Crushers, that presenting has about 50% in terms of scoring in the whole competition. Ne? So you have to invest in the way you present, because 25% is for your research, and then another 25% is for your open game and the attachments that you are adding. So how you present is very important, and another 25% is collaboration or teamwork. You see, core values, if I may use the exact word. So you have to look like a team and feel like a team and behave like a team and talk like a team. You understand? You cannot have one task given to one of the team members and then he's just talking throughout. And then you hear one person coming for 2 seconds and then it disappears and then it's back to him. Then it looks like it was his own duty alone in terms of the research. You understand? This whole thing, it's all about how you guys collaborate with one another. And you will lose points just because of this small thing that you guys have to fix. You understand? So going to the competition, you need to bear in mind, almost like the entire scores, 75% of the scores are coming out of how you guys behave with one another, are coming from the presentations. So you're gonna have to try and practice that. You see? What you are saying may be very important, but we couldn't hear you guys because at some point we struggled and you stood very far. If you maybe came a bit closer because of your voice is not that loud, you just come a bit closer to the stage. So that at least, because we are trying to find out what are you guys trying to say, you see? Yeah, that's all on my side.
Yeah, you were speaking very soft now, so we missed the whole starting, like your introduction. So everything you said was leaving us lost because we didn't hear the foundation. You get what I mean? So we're sitting here with a roof, but there's no foundation wall and anything holding up that roof. We just know there's a satellite and an app. So where that comes from, it was from my feedback session yesterday where I felt the project had no innovation. You can't just take images from a satellite and then say that you've done something with images that don't belong to you necessarily. So I think they needed to, be bold enough to say, I can make the satellite. It's innovative, it should be a little crazy, Say we are the ones who will design the satellite to serve this purpose. And I do worry that maybe because it was short notice, but I think you need to refine how you want to describe the new idea, because it's there were the key words we spoke about yesterday, but they didn't fit into your story, if that makes sense. You were talking about, I guess you wanted to use a practical example with the farmers, but we were not speaking about it like that, yesterday. So I think you need to really make sure that you do understand your solution, so that when you give an example of how someone would use that practically, it is a solution that makes sense, or it's an example that makes sense for your solution. So I do think there was really just you speaking most of the time, yellow, yes, speaking most of the time, but I think you were prepared to do this by yourself today, was it not? So I think you were sitting with the majority because I believe your team is also incomplete. Not all the members are here. So you took the responsibility of filling that gap. But I do think we need a way to split the work if there's at least one other person coming. Maybe 50-50 and find a way to make it flow, because anything can happen on competition day, but it mustn't throw you. That's why I told you guys yesterday, everyone needs to know the presentation from start to finish. Don't just learn your words, because we're going to find ourselves in a position where we've got people who you've now brought in to fill this gap. But are you guys going to present? Or are your presenters not here? I'm talking about Lego Masters. So, okay, I agree with what Estelle was saying, that the minute we have people on stage who are not talking, it does look like you're not part of this group, and you're not, but it affected the stage presence of the team who were sharing their work, because everyone was probably waiting, when's your turn, and wondering why it's being passed back and forth between two individuals. So I don't think it was the best idea to mix two teams on the stage for their presentation. Yeah, it didn't help. We don't need anyone to hold the podium, I think. Yeah, because that's what they were doing. So I think please just get some clarity and try to make this project your own. As Estelle said, you can't keep saying what the teacher said, because when you are in the judging room, the judges are going to expect you to be able to answer based on what you said. Your teacher is not going to be there to assist you. So try your best. You chose a very complicated solution, so you need to put some effort and time into understanding, so that when you present, you come across as you know what you're talking about, not that you're reading someone gave you a message to pass to us, and that's what it comes across. But yesterday you presented a little bit better. I think